All right, Grasshoppers, it's 11 o'clock on Monday. You know what's really going well here? So I don't have to be stuck with Mark Puttenvink all by myself all the time.
God,
We're
that's
getting all these
horrible.
great
Could you
guests.
imagine?
So Mark Wonecki, is that how we say that properly?
Wanakee.
Wanecki. All right, so this is another veteran friend of ours. You were a pilot in the Air Force? Obviously, the Air
No,
Force.
actually, as a flight mech, over 3,500 hours on the C5 there.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So the great Barry Shelley had the event, had Mark's Jersey Warriors up there. That was a few months ago now, right? 4 or 5 months ago?
It was February, Mark, was it? February of last year.
Yeah, it was around that time. It was a good event. Very good.
It was a great event.
Yeah, so Mark was up there at the event representing Cooperstown, and he won a raffle to come out in the show here. So thank God. Now, I don't have to talk to Mark all day long. Maybe, Mark, you and I could do a show about what it's like to deal with Mark Puttenvink all the time.
Yeah, and also just hand out raffles to everybody you see on the street.
Right. So, Mark, thank you very much for your service again. We appreciate it very much. We got somebody else. Is there another person supposed to be on? Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse's coming. That's my son.
Oh, okay. He's coming on with us?
He's a hockey guy, too. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Jesse, where are you at there, brother? There you go.
Hey, how's it going?
Jesse, how are you?
Jesse.
Tom Laidlaw, Mark Puttenvink.
How are you,
Nice
man?
to meet you. You're a hockey guy? You're a player?
Yes, of course. Father got me into the sport at a young age. Don't even remember learning to skate. So been around it since and still to this day.
That's very cool. That's cool. What are you doing now then for work? You working?
So I'm part-time with the military. I'm in the reserves.
Oh.
And then I also do aircraft maintenance with my father.
Oh, very cool. Wow, you guys are into it. So here's like Ira, we really don't usually laugh at his story. So people can write in questions or comments here, and I can put them up on the screen. So Ira, we really don't want to talk to you too much, but it's pretty funny. They said Taylor Swift is going to be back. So next week we're going to have Taylor Swift on the show.
I lined it up.
Well, unbelievable, right? Like the attention. Like I knew she was a star, but it's like, oh,
it's crazy.
It's more important to watch her than it is the game. So again, Jesse, thank you very much for your service in the military as well. So, Dad, your background is what then? Where are you from?
I was born in Hartford, raised in Jersey, and actually moved to Texas to finish high school. I had Bernie Germain as my coach. I don't know if you guys recall who he was.
I don't.
He played. He was with. At the time, he was on the Dallas Blackhawks, Chicago's farm team. He was a
Central.
goalie. Yeah. So he won the cup down there one year. I don't know how many, but he couldn't make it to the show. Back then, they used one goalie, if you recall. But
yeah,
he was a good coach of mine. But speaking of hockey, I got an interesting story about the Devils. I don't think I even told Mark this. But I was home on leave once, and they practiced out of the Minute hockey rink, and it was a captain's practice. It's like, hey, I'm gonna hop on the ice. Screw it, So I put my stuff on, and I hopped out there, and I climbed over the boards actually to get on the bench, and they're looking up at me, right? And they're like, "Who the hell is this?" But they didn't say anything to me, so I just scooted down the bench until it was my shift. And we did like 3 regroups. I touched the puck maybe 3 times. Then everybody stopped, and they're like, "He wants to see you." So over in the referee's crease is Mel Bridgman, right?
Oh,
so I skate over, and he's here like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Mark Warneke." And he goes, "Yeah, but who are you?" I said, "That's who I am, Mark Warneke." He goes, "What are you doing out here on the ice?"
So hold on. You wouldn't just jumped on the ice all by yourself in a practice?
Yeah, exactly.
That's classic. That's excellent.
So I had nothing to lose. I was home on leave, visiting my parents. I was at the Minute Rink, and I used to had worked there,
Right.
So he goes, "You can't just come out here and skate." He goes, "You guys a waiver." And he goes, "Where are you from?" And I told him I was home on military leave. And he goes, "Well, you're going to have to leave." He goes, "Next time, just get here early and, I'll get you on the waiver." But, there wasn't a next time, but I did it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah, like, to see somebody just jump on the ice. And Mel was coaching the team?
No, he was captain of the Devils at the time. And
so he was with the Devils. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't catch that. That's excellent. I don't think I've ever heard that story.
No.
Story like that. That's cool.
That's funny.
Good. So when did you go in the military?
I went in 81. So I was 17 and 78. That's when I went to college.
Right.
And, I stopped going. I said, screw this. I went and played hockey a year in Texas, and then I joined the military.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah,
How
well,
long-
go ahead. I was 21 and a half years military.
21 and a half years you're in. Wow. That's
Retired.
fantastic. Right.
So now I'm working for a private company, managing their jet and taking care of it. So, we get to travel a lot.
Right.
It's
That's
fun.
That is cool. Very cool.
But I'm done reffing kind of. That was the Eastern Professional Hockey League. Give big thanks to John Bernard, Mike Shapey, a little bit to Paul Stewart. They gave me a chance. I was a military guy. I got in, and actually Gino Binda gave me my shot through Bernard. And once I got in, I loved it. On weekends, Thursday nights, going up to Danbury, working the games. The last game I worked in a 1-2 system, I'll never forget it. I gave like 23 penalties out in the third period. And I had tossed this guy Frazier in the first period.
Right.
And he's on the ice in the brawl on the third period. I'm sitting there with my notepad going, like, where did he come from? But
Danbury, wasn't that the
Thrashers,
family?
yeah.
Yeah.
they were the Thrashers, then they went to the Whalers.
To the whale. Yeah.
Now, I think they're the Mad Hatters.
And what was the Thrasher story? Wasn't the family like a mob family or something like that?
Yeah. That was before my time. But
There's a documentary on Netflix. And so
Yeah.
Dave McIsaac was in New York. He was in Hartford playing when I was in New York.
Right.
Do you know Dave McIsaac, Tom?
I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty tough guy. But
Yeah.
he was the coach with all that madness going on with the Thrashers.
it still hasn't changed up there.
No.
That one fan section is crazy. Nick Peter, I don't know if you know him. He's a legend in minor hockey. He was the goalie. But he later told me that Esposito was the coach, Phil Esposito, but not the Phil Esposito that played for the Bruins.
Right.
But he told Frazier, "You're going to participate in the brawl. The third period, don't take your uniform off." And he came back.
I went up there. I was a celebrity coach for one game, and it was a real game. Yeah, it was real. I think it was a regular season game, and they had a tough guy in the lineup. Wasn't a very good player, and the game kind of got out of the way a bit. So I threw the tough guy. I said, "All right, get it there, do your job." He got the crap beat out of himself. And I said, what? I thought you were tough.
Paelli was a small guy. He knocked out the big guys all the time. He would lay them right out.
Who was that?
Paelli was his name.
Oh, okay.
Well, John Morasti, Nasty Morasti was there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some videos of that guy. Man, he would stand back and just throw him.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy, Devin Guy. He was a good fighter in that league.
Yeah.
We had a lot of games, But it was fun, traveling around. I did the finals a couple times up in Watertown, Elmira.
Nice. Great cities.
Yeah. But I was excited to come on the show.
Good. Cool. I'm glad to have you. I like telling these old stories here. I gotta get Jesse unmuted here. I mute him. There's noise in the background.
Yeah. Well, Jesse learned to skate at West Point. Youth services there. West Point had a great program coming up. And
yeah. By the way, last year, Tom, Mark arranged for the Warriors to go up, and we skated against a group of West Point and military guys up at West Point. So for the guys, and it was a great event. I mean, it's West Point, and it's a great facility, and maybe we'll get to do it again this year, Mark. It'd be great.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I'm working on, I haven't disclosed that either. I have to talk to McGinnis. There's a outside facility at West Point. I'm going to try to have an outdoor game.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
If it doesn't happen, we'll have the rink inside. That's what I'm working on now.
Right. Those buildings there are beautiful, right? The big stone buildings. Yeah. The views up there. Yeah. That's really something.
Yeah. And shout out to Rob Riley, who, when I first got stationed in the area, I went to him and said, "Hey, I want to, I like hockey a lot. I want to learn more about coaching." And he let me work his camp.
Oh.
And, his successor, Brian Riley, taught me some hockey too. I mean, it's a good community there.
Yeah, that Riley family's done a lot up there. I have some good friends that know them well. I don't know if I've ever met them or not.
Well, Walt played with Rob.
That's right. That's what it was.
So that's how I got involved, because Walt called me like one off season. Can you go up and help Army? My buddy Rob's coaching there.
Right.
So I said, yeah.
So Walt Kyle is what we're talking about here. Walt Kyle, he coached in the NHL for a few years, assistant coach with the Rangers, Anaheim. He's been
Anaheim, yeah.
So we went to college together. He coached at Northern Michigan University. Funny guy. He recently got inducted into the NMU Sports Hall of Fame, and in his speech, he said that the coach. So I was the captain there of the team, and Walter transferred from BC, and coach called him and said, "Listen, I really admire your work ethic. So you're going to be one of the captains with Tom. Now it's clear this is how Walt tells the story. I wasn't here or at the meeting, but he tells the story that Coach calmly said, "Listen, Tom's the leader of the team, but I need you to follow Tom, and I need you to control Tom because so this is like on a Wednesday." So Friday night we go to a local bar. There's an Air Force base close by. So the Air Force guys come in. They're like us, young and drinking beer. We get in fights, and really wasn't anything personal. We were young guys getting fights. So Coach calls Walt in the morning, and Coach, what happened? And Walt says, I followed him. I did what I want to do, but there's nobody that's going to lead that guy.
I followed him into the fight.
Yeah, he told me that after. I was like, I didn't realize I was that bad. So, Mark, you sound like you've had a good full life then, right? I'm not that you're done with it, but I mean, you're doing lots of things in the military, coaching. You keep moving. Good. How old are you now?
I'm 62, and I'm probably heading to Jakarta, Indonesia next week.
What for?
Wow.
I got to look at a machine out there. Maybe we're going to purchase a machine.
Wow. Where did you go when you were in the military? Any interesting play watch?
I was on flying status. I went, everywhere. My favorite place was Pago Pago.
Wow.
I did serve at a few, actually, like Just Cause, Desert Storm, stuff like that. So I was over in the desert. Actually, 4 Christmas in a row, we had Panama, and then the desert.
Wow.
Because you had the Desert Shield before Desert Storm. Then after Desert Storm, we had to go back over there. So
they fly you over there, and you'd service the jets over there.
Well, yeah, or we'd bring the cargo in. I'd stay with the jet and fly back and forth.
Wow.
It depends, They need.
Any times where you're thinking this? Any times you're thinking, "Wow, this could be it."
There was 2 events. Yeah.
Oh.
But,
Where's Pago Pago?
Pago Pago's in the Pacific.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of unique. It's a small island. I never forget, we had a blonde flight engineer. So they really don't see blondes over there. Yeah. So they all lined up outside the gate when the airplane. Was like we're in a zoo and they were checking her out.
You just sold tickets.
So is Pago Pago near Fiji?
I don't know how close it is to that, but it's out there. We went. I think it was Guam to Pago Pago, then Australia. If we AR'd air refuel to Australia, it would have been a 23.5-hour flight.
Wow.
Somalia, that's how far. That's how many hours it took to get down there.
Yeah, I was in. So when I was on Survivor, we were in Fiji in Australia. We were in Brisbane, Australia, after the show. So that was cool out there. I love that part of the world.
Yeah. It's just so tranquil and quiet,
Yeah, all those islands in that area, small little islands.
Yeah, and then I would bring my ref equipment. Here's a good story. So I'm in. We're doing shuttles from Breeze Norton in Britain down to Split, Croatia. It was right after O'Grady got shot down, and we're doing these shuttles. And I just paid for the buffet, and the captain, this guy Captain Johnson, comes up. He goes, "Come on, you're going to skate with the Swindon Wildcats." They go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, they got a pro team here. They got practice thing." I go, "I don't even have any equipment." He goes, "They're going to give you everything."
Wow.
So there, where we were in a cab, we went over there, and actually the goalie who's on their national team, he gave me skates, his out skates, and I got to practice with him. It was a really good time.
Oh, that's cool. Great stories. Yeah, as much. Listen, you're serving your country, and it's dangerous, but there's some great experiences from doing that too, right? Flying all over the place and things you saw.
Yeah, seeing and for the cause. I mean, we had a lot of humanitarians lifts, to crises around the world that we helping people.
Wow,
it was a good mission. All around.
Yeah, it's interesting. This young girl that works for the Rangers, does all her alumni stuff. Just she got married, and for their honeymoon, she went over to Kenya.
Oh yeah,
and she came back. It's like a life-changing experience. You go to these places, you see how great we have it over here, and all the people over there, what they don't have too. So
I was in Uganda on a mission, and we landed in Entebbe, but we're staying off the airport, and it was during the Rwanda whole thing where they're just wiping people out. It was really sad to see, but you really respect where you live and appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, you start to think all the things that bother you before. You think, well, why am I getting so worried about that? Yeah, very true. Well, Mark, great to have you on. Thank you very much for your service to the country. You sound like you've had a great life. We'll get together again and have some more, tell us more stories.
Yeah, we'll have to have that outdoor game, right, Mark?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
just tremendous.
That would be
Very
cool.
nice. Thanks for
Tom,
having
you could get in that, Tom.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah. All right, Mark. Great to see you, brother.
Yep, see ya. Bye.
Oh, cool dude.
Very nice. Yeah, he's a great
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Remember
he really.
imagine the stories he must have, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
21 years, 20,
Yeah.
almost 22. He said.
And
And-
so, is he? What would he be in the Air Force then, or what's he?
I don't know. I guess he was in the Air Force, but could have been the Army. Could have been Navy too, but I'm pretty sure it was Air Force. I'll have to double back on that.
Right.
But yeah, he's got a pretty cool job now. He works for, like you said, maintains aircraft for some wealthy dude. So
Oh.
he's like flying back and forth to islands and stuff. He's got a pretty good gig going. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't realize
Yeah.
there's one guy. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're like that too, right? Don't you have a bunch of planes?
Yeah. When I take my bath.
You know, I've often thought about that. You know, like if you're ever like a billionaire or whatever, and win the lottery, like,
Oh,
would you change your life that much?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess as far as you know, like get a nicer, bigger house and everything. But would you want to be like you don't want to
Well,
change your
you know, I guess, there's actually a lot of horror stories of people that have won the
Yeah.
lottery,
Yeah.
you know,
There's a
'cause
whole
it's-
show. They do a show about that of the
Yeah.
people that. Yeah,
but I'm willing to give it
I know.
to risk it. Yeah.
They on the paper lately. Have you seen it? The guy that won like over $1 billion. They've been showing him like he's buying houses and got the girlfriends all over the place. Got his hair all done up different and everything.
Oh yeah.
I guess, hey, you know what? You're only gonna live once. Just let it rip.
Well, I remember this is 100 years ago, but my friend worked for Yashica Cameras back in the day.
Oh.
And I was out in the West Coast, and the president of Yashica owned a home, which was like when he'd come in from Japan, but he was very rarely here. And it was in really nice area of California. I can't think of it right now.
Right.
But so my wife at the time and I were staying there, and I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking the cops are going to come and arrest me because
Right.
I'm in this mansion and
Oh,
I don't
okay.
belong here.
Right.
You know?
That might come to think about it. Like you go to LA there or Malibu, like live on the beach there in Malibu.
Oh yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, that's the one thing I'd want. I'd want to be on the water. Have a house where I've got a nice
Absolutely.
deck instead of the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nobody
Yeah.
between me. There's a beach there.
Yeah. I grew up on a lake, and it's
Yeah.
I'm really lucky because you come home and you just chill,
Yeah.
or you get up in the morning. But don't do what I did. I came home one morning. I'd been out with the boys, and it was that nice mist on a lake,
Yeah.
you know. And I had a canoe. Remember Mazzola corn oil? The
Yeah, yeah.
commercial?
Yeah.
So I'm hammered. I'm out on the lake, and I'm doing my Mazzola, and somehow I flipped the canoe. Now out in the middle of the lake, fully
Yeah.
dressed, by the way.
Yeah.
Shoes on. Did you ever try and flip a canoe over by yourself in the water?
In the water. Yeah.
You
That's
can't
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So finally, I just said, screw it. So I swam and dragged the canoe underwater back
Right.
to the dock. It's like 6 a.m. I'm soaking wet. I just take everything off, right? Leave it on the dock. Now I'm walking around the corner of the house, and our neighbor, Mrs. Luff, was watering her tomato plants.
Oh.
Morning, Mrs. Luff. I just kept going. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Isn't it? You
She
like
tried to
practice
water me too. I don't know why.
get it to grow. Oh, that's funny. Funny stuff. How was your weekend?
It's good. Yeah. Saturday kind of chilled a bit, and then yesterday I was busy training.
Yeah.
A bunch of people, which to me that's fun. I just
Yeah,
love
you
it.
do enjoy that, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
So, so the update on our residence here, Greenwich, Connecticut, the Greenwich Place, it's going down the tubes. Our little development here.
Yeah, here too, man.
The people,
telling
again,
you.
there's some bitter people. I was walking. Where's it going? Some woman came out, and she's a very nice person, but she's one of those ones that's always negative. But like,
Yeah.
today she was really negative. I said, "Hey, how are you?" And it doesn't matter how positive you are with her. She
Doesn't matter.
goes to the negative right away. And this place is going down the tubes, and kind of like when I first moved in, the grass is green all the time and everything.
Right.
Now it's all, they leave the chestnuts all over. You're falling down the hill when you're.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is now. Because of the cost of everything.
Yeah.
Even the care around here is not
Yeah.
what it used to be.
Oh,
You
I
know.
know, yeah. Like
Yeah.
people. Where would you like to move if you had to move someplace else?
In the U.S.,
Yes.
I want to get in the woods, so I probably like somewhere. And I don't mind the winter if it's the right setting. I mean,
Right.
the winter here is just a pain in the butt. But I
Yeah.
would love to be, I don't know, like even Iowa, Montana,
Sure. Oh,
Nevada,
yeah. The mountains.
Utah
someplace
was
like that.
tremendous.
There he is, a magical veteran. Keith, how you doing, brother?
He's the best, man. I love
Good
that
man,
dude.
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that true? The mountains. You know, another area I say I like the water, but Arizona would be nice too, like Scottsdale, that area. That's beautiful out there.
Yeah, except you basically have 3 months a year you can't leave the house. That's the only problem.
Is it that bad?
It's that bad. Yeah, I mean, so there's a payoff. I mean, the
Yeah.
payoff is in Christmas evening you're sitting by the pool
Yeah.
and it's 75 degrees out. It's not so bad.
It is funny because that was the when I got traded out to Los Angeles. I love New York, love playing here, and it was the first Christmas. So we had rented a home with a pool and a hot tub in the backyard. And so Christmas Eve, I'm sitting out there with a cocktail, and I was kind of whining about the fact that I miss New York and everything. All of a sudden, I'm going,
Not whining.
I still miss New York, but man, this is
Not
pretty
that
good.
bad.
Yeah, yeah. We used to go after practice. We'd go down to the beach, Manhattan Beach, and sit out by the water and have lunch. And,
Yeah.
cool.
And when you come down that big hill, Tom,
Yeah,
Manhattan Beach, because I think even now the Kings all live over there.
Yes, they do.
I was out there a
Yeah.
few years with my buddy, and we went down. We went to that. There's like a boardwalk and some restaurants and stuff, right? Yeah, we went.
Oh, that was
some
good.
food.
That's an NHL thing, right? Especially back in those days,
yeah.
all the guys going together for lunch,
Yeah.
and to be out in LA and sitting by the water. That was pretty cool.
Well, I remember going there, and the guys are coming to practice wearing shorts.
Yeah,
The Kings.
yeah. Everybody's got
Yeah.
the tan going a whole bit.
Yeah.
Is that Keith's wife?
Yes.
Very good. There's the family picture.
She
Very
is,
nice. Hygiene.
Tremendous woman.
Hygiene.
Yes, hygiene.
Good. Hygiene. It's like the. I think I've told the story, but I was at a little farm I go to, it's fresh vegetables, and the mushrooms they had there were called fungi.
That's who you are. You're a fun guy, man.
Yeah, fun guy. Fun guy. What's the
I
match?
got yelled at last night because some guy, Gary Moore. I said, see, if my last name was Moore, I would name my kid Les's.
Less is more. We were going through what somebody was talking about names. I can't remember what. So they're talking about like the weirdest names in sports or whatever. Were we doing that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there's been a ton of them. I mean, there's been some Bart Crashley. You can't get a better hockey name than Bart Crashley.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So remember Robin Bawa, the player?
Yeah.
So if he got married to Barbara Walters, she'd be Baba Bawa.
You remember Pear? Well, you might have played with him. Pear Juice.
Yes. No, I didn't play with him. I remember him.
Yeah.
Though. That's right. Yes.
I guess he was from Finland, right? Yeah.
Larry Playfair from Finland. Yeah. Larry Playfair is pretty good too for a big tough guy like that.
Well, the best thing, Larry Playfair played with Lindy Ruff. Ruff and Playfair.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you had Garth Butcher.
Garth Butcher. Yeah, he was, and he lived up to his name.
Yeah,
he was a tough
he's tough
kid.
too. Funny guy too. I tell a story. Kenny
Was he? I
Baumgartner.
don't know.
Oh yeah, Kenny, really good with the one-liners out in the ice. Kenny Baumgartner was a really tough guy, a young guy, and him and Butcher were always going back at it. And Kenny had a dose of pneumonia while he was with the Kings. And right in front of in between the two benches, Butcher says to him, he says, "You're the only guy that's stupid enough to get pneumonia living in Los Angeles." And it wasn't just the line; it was the way he delivered it.
He said
too. Oh yeah.
Well, everybody has mixed feelings, but I saw Sean Avery. It was a clip. He's coming off the ice in the garden. The guy goes, "Avery, you suck." He looks at the dude and goes, "Your company doesn't have a dental plan, does it?"
I saw that video. That was good, right? To think of those things that quickly. One of the funniest ones I saw, it was the Detroit Red Wings were someplace, I can't remember where they were. And every time a player went in the penalty box, this is Washington Capitals. This woman beside the penalty box would just be ranting and raving and yelling at him, waving her arms and the whole bit. And she had a short sleeve shirt on. So Brendan Shanahan gets in there. And did you see this? So he pretends he's got a razor, like he's shaving the armpits, and he's looking at her like, "Oh, come on, you gotta do something about that." Imagine that. Imagine how embarrassing that would be, right?
That is awesome.
Like those simple little lines like that just embarrass us.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
You know who was good with it? It was Theo.
Yeah. Yep.
Theo, some of the stuff he would say, I'll tell you off air that one.
Yeah,
he was good. He was good.
John McClane for the Devils was pretty good.
Johnny Mack was real good because he had that dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
So remember the kid Dwyer, was that his name? The redhead kid, the tough kid.
Yeah.
He grabs John and he called him. He said something about him losing his hair, and John just looks at him and goes, "This is the best you got." But the way he said it, like the kid felt like a complete idiot afterwards.
Yeah, totally. There's a few good ones. So I was in LA at the time, and Jersey was in town, and him and I were going at it for some reason. And I said, "Who did you?" He had the C on his jersey. I said, I used a different word, but I said, "Who did you to get the C?"
To see?
Yeah. He says, "Who did you to still be in the league?" He goes. And those ones when somebody says one like that,
you gotta laugh.
Yeah, there's really no comeback to it. Right?
Well, we were sitting around one time, and it turned out that Gretzky's very last game with the Rangers in forever, Johnny Mack was the right winger. And I said to him, "Well, that's pretty cool, man. Like you can tell your grandkids, like Gretzky's last shift, you were his winger." He goes, "Yeah, Gretzky's probably looked over and went, oh, let's come down to this.
I've seen that too. Timmy Waters and I, who were great friends, we played together in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
And we were that defensive pair. And Wayne really respected our job, but he didn't want to be out there with us. He wanted to be out there with Steve Duchesne and all the guys, the Danglers and everything. I'll never forget one time. It was so funny. We came out on the ice in a big situation, and Wayne was already on the ice. Then they sent Timmy and I out there, and Wayne looks at us, and I think he just couldn't control himself. Like he rolled his eyes, like, "Oh, not these guys again," you know. And we were old enough, and we knew Wayne well enough to not get offended by it. But it was like Wayne Gretzky's rolling his eyes as we going out on the ice, and we were dying laughing about it too.
We had a group. It was a while back, obviously, but it was a summer group, right? So we'd all go to the track, and I put them through a workout. And it was Danico, Stevie Thomas, Zilla Pukin, Johnny Mack. Who else? Holik once in a while. But yeah, so all it was just like all summer, just back and forth.
Right.
You know.
We're doing a podcast, a Full Change podcast with Randy Velishek and who's the big right winger, tough guy that played back in those days too. It's awful.
Mike Peluso?
No, he was a pretty good player. I just but they're going to come on our podcast. So they're going to do a Devils preview.
Oh, right winger.
Yeah.
Randy McKay?
No, God, it's terrible. He's a good guy too. He was in that Dancing with the Stars and married the girl he danced with.
Oh, Grant Marshall.
Yes, Grant Marshall.
Grant's
Yes.
a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about Grant. So she's British.
Yeah.
And a couple decades ago already, but whatever. I trained her and her brother when they were skating for England.
Right.
Because they were training here in the summer. And then I ran into Grant because we did these like you did, the learn the plays for the NHL. And I said, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. And I said to him, I said, I used to train her. It was a small world.
Oh.
Yeah. But Grant's a great guy.
Yes,
good.
very funny. Good storyteller.
Randy,
Yep.
Randy and I have known each other. Like Randy, his son Alex, he was a pretty good player. Ended up playing at Providence, and then he played a little bit in American or Central League or somewhere in here.
Right.
So my son Sean and Alex were on the team. They were like 4.
Right.
So the deal was 1 week Randy would be on it. It was like Sunday morning. Randy would be on the ice lining the kids up. I'd be on the bench tying skates, wiping noses. Right.
Yeah.
So these kids are like 4 and 5 years old. So
Right.
I see my son going to the penalty box. I'm like, there's no penalties. And Randy's on the ice. I told him, what happened? He goes, well, I could have got him for a charge hit from behind.
Oh.
I said, oh, here we go.
There we go.
But he's a great guy. Randy's a real good dude.
Yeah. Yeah, Marshall's funny. He's a good storyteller. Yeah, so we had both of those guys on before, and now we're going to do a preview of the Devil season. Then we're going to have James Patrick and Dave Maloney. We do a show on there, so it's pretty cool. 2 good guys. I really respect Dave and James Patrick. You know, even though they're still involved in the game, they've separated themselves from the playing life. That they've had that life. Now it's time to move on. They're intelligent men. So good guys. All right. So what else? Anything else happening that's exciting in the world?
So what? Yeah, go ahead.
Next week, that's right. Next week we're having Taylor Swift on. Okay, you and I.
Yeah. That's going to be a big event. She's supposed to text me back. She hasn't texted back yet, but it's coming. Trust me.
Yeah. That's probably what
next week. I'll be in the airport and from Denver, so it'll be a live action. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very cool. All right, Mr. Puttenvink, great to see you again.
Yes,
everybody.
sir.
Everybody have a safe weekend. Let's make a point too of really this mental health stuff. Everywhere I go now, again, had this fantastic event yesterday at the Lustgarten Foundation for Pancreatic Cancer at Jones Beach. And it's amazing people out there like going through all those things, and the mental health issues with that, but just the mental health issues with everybody. So Mark's jumping on and off. So let's all make a point of making sure we're reaching out to people and make sure everybody's okay. So it seems like there's a lot of that happening.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy thing to do, and it can really be a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, brother. Have a good week.